This week's episode of the weird things Alicia does to feel better. It is 94 degrees and we have 100% humidity and it feels like 107.
I think I'm just soft over here. Like it's hard down there. There's snakes in the lawn.
This is my celery juice.
Oh, there's nothing better than juicing celery.
Don't eat tree bark.
And if you're gonna have sex, do it at the cooler times of the evening.
You don't ever have to do another chaturanga ever again if you don't want to.
When our emotions are hot and fiery, it's gonna make everything else hot and fiery in us.
And I think that the trick to living with the seasons is getting the routine that I like with the seasons.
When you really start tuning in and getting aware, we can make better decisions for our body, our mind, our spirit.
These things have changed my life and I feel better and I do better and I am better because of it.
Because our goal here is to feel good.
Welcome to Herbalism Uncensored, the podcast where we dig deep into the world of herbalism and natural healing. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Lila. We're two clinical herbalists who recognize the need for honest and authentic conversations about the state of natural healing today. As practitioners, we feel called to have uncensored discussions about why people aren't finding relief and what to do about it.
If you're frustrated by lack of results, overwhelmed by conflicting advice online, disillusioned by the commercialization of wellness, or simply passionate about natural healing, you're in the right place.
This podcast is our way of cutting through the noise, busting myths, and challenging marketing gimmicks.
This is Herbalism Uncensored,
where together we're nurturing the future of natural healing.
The contents of this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to be a substitute in any way for professional medical advice, treatment, or diagnosis. It's important that you always seek the advice of your physician or other licensed healthcare provider with any questions or concerns you may have regarding a medical condition.
Time for the summer episode. Well, I'm excited because we're in a heat wave right now, and you're going to laugh at what my heat wave is compared to what your heat waves are, but I'm like dying over here. Like I'm sleeping with ice packs, and I've recently learned a new life hack that you could get a mister bottle with water and like mist water on yourself and lay in front of the fan, and like that just like cools you down. But yes, I'm employing all of the summer tactics, so I'm really excited for this episode.
Okay, so just for reference, you're in Vancouver, Washington, right? And what's the temperature?
Hold on. 83 degrees, and we are in a national heat wave warning.
What does it feel like? You know, it has the heat index. Feels like...
Oh, sorry, it's 88 degrees.
Ooh.
It feels like 88, and it's 88.
Okay, so I'm in Houston, Texas, and we are not in a heat wave, and it is 94 degrees, and we have 100% humidity, and it feels like 107.
You have 100% humidity?
Yeah. Oh, that's like normal.
Dude, I'm like in a puddle over here at 35% humidity.
It sounds beautiful there, but your body gets acclimated to things because you seem like you are struggling with the heat more than I am here.
Dude.
Because I'm like, this is just the beginning of summer. This isn't bad at all.
Well, like two things. Like one, last week, it was cold enough that I was wearing flannels and leggings still. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom. But I, for whatever reason, the last like few years of my life, and I grew up in Southern California in Temecula, like it is a hot desert. Like for whatever reason, my heat tolerance is like gone. Like I don't have tolerance for the heat. It makes me moody. It makes me hot. I get fatigued. I just like want to like go melt into a puddle.
Well, that makes perfect sense, right? Because we have different stages of our life, and you are 30.
I'm 30.
You're 30. So you are at one of the hottest points in your life where the Pitta Dosha is really high in your body right now. And I feel like every year through my 30s, I was less heat tolerant. Like every year it was like, man, the temperature wasn't getting any hotter here, but I felt the heat more because I had more heat within me. So this is the Pitta season. It is hot, light, wet, intense. And we're going to touch on, we mentioned this in the spring episode, you do have to consider your geography because if it's summer in Arizona, it's probably hot and dry rather than hot and wet. But here it's hot and wet. I think it's always wet where you are, right?
Pretty much. It's like I live in a swamp or something. I don't know. It's just wet here.
Yeah, we literally live in a swamp. They call Houston Bayou City.
Okay, you win.
This is a place where in the middle of the city, people find snakes in their yard because they come from the bayou.
I think I'm just soft over here. Like it's hard down there. There's snakes in the lawn. It's 100% humidity, and I'm over here just being soft.
But this is a huge transition when you go from that cool season of spring and transition into the hot summer. It's shocking to your body. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Some things that you can do, again, life hacks to stay more in the zone of dynamic balance as things continue to heat up through these summer months, because we're right at the beginning, right? Like we're not even technically in summer. We're just at the beginning of the transition.
Nope, things are gonna keep heating up. It's gonna get fun. Before we talk about all the summer management stuff, let's talk about what can go wrong in the summer and the most common summer ailments, which include inflammation, rashes, acidity, hives, itchy eyes, sunburns, tropical fever, irritability. I felt that last night. Last night I was just in a hot mood. Like I literally had to leave my apartment. I drove to the park and I took my yoga mat and I laid out in the moonlight because I was like, I can't handle the heat right now. Like I'm being pushed over my edge. The
Mm-hmm,
irritability one is
mm-hmm.
real.
Irritability, impatience, like people become more controlling in the summertime and judgmental. These are all hot pitta
Well,
emotions.
and there's statistics out there like the crime rates rise in the summer because we're already hot, and so anything that tips us over, like the hot emotions erupt, and that's, the fiery, the anger, the like you said, the judgmental. It's the reactive emotions that are coming forth.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we're going to talk about some things to do to try and like to stay cool, stay calm, reduce that inflammation and keep that stuff from building up to the point where it becomes, because we're all going to have like a little bit of extra heat, right? We're all going to be, if you're in a climate like mine, have a little bit extra moisture. If you're a little hot and wet, things are going to get steamy. Or if you're in New Mexico, things are going to be a little bit drier and hotter. So these things are going to accumulate, but we don't want them to accumulate to the point that they're like overflowing and causing things that are pathological. So, how do we keep that from happening?
We start with our diet. That is one great way to control our whatever dosha or imbalance we're dealing with, right? Because we already have to eat, so we might as well make it work in our favor.
Yeah, this is the cheapest medicine, right? It's basically free medicine when you use your diet therapeutically. So, this is a time to favor sweet, bitter, and astringent taste. We're talking about, when we say sweet, we're not talking about candy. We're talking about things like dates, oatmeal, complex grains, right? Those are sweet. And bitter, we're talking about green vegetables. What's astringent? Give me some, let's think of some astringent stuff. Help me out. I'm going tree bark over
But
here.
yeah, don't everyone go out and eat the tree bark.
Don't eat tree bark.
I didn't say hard flavor to come by naturally. Oh,
Mhm.
like pomegranates are astringent.
There you
Grapes are
go.
astringent. Apples have
Mhm.
astringency. What else? I think bananas, green
There,
bananas are astringent.
like
Mm-hmm.
plantains. And we want to avoid sour, pungent, and salty foods. So we want to lighten up on the salt. And if you're a pitta person, if you have a lot of fire within you, you probably are drawn to pungent foods like hot sauce and spices, those hot spices. And we want to avoid the overuse of that kind of stuff in the summertime because it's just going to heat you up more.
Does everybody know that pungent means spicy? Because I feel like that is something I only recently learned in my adult years.
Okay, well, pungent means spicy, right? We're talking about pepper and cayenne. We're talking about all those hot chilies. Like, this is not a time to be putting ghost pepper on your food, all of my pitta friends.
No, no, no. Leave the heat off. I'm so proud of myself though. I went grocery shopping today and I bought arugula and green apples and just like a ton of green veggies because I was just like, I need cool coconut water, all the good stuff.
Mhm. I juiced my gotu kola. I did. I juiced gotu kola with kale and cilantro.
Is it better freshly juiced than it is as a tea? Because, it's a bit hay-like.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And I don't know if it's so bad because, oh, I also did dandelion. So I did dandelion. with kale and gotu kola and cilantro. So I basically made like the bitterest green juice I've ever had, and it was pretty bad. And I tried to make it better by adding like a little bit of salt and some cumin, and that made it worse. I'm choking it down though, and it's making me feel really good. It just doesn't taste very good.
Good for you. And that's like the thing that always continuously blows my mind is, again, a lot of the herbs we take don't taste good, but they feel good. And so your body starts craving them, even though it's like, I'm about to go eat some Tagara that literally smells like stinky gym socks, but like my body wants it because my body knows it feels good. It blows my mind.
Well, I will say about the gotu kola that it tastes, I really like it fresh. And if you live in a hot, warm climate, you can grow gotu kola. It likes heat, it likes moisture, it likes sunlight. It will get a little wilty if it's in direct sun all day, but you water it really good, it perks right back up. And it's like ground cover. You can order it on Etsy. There are people in California who sell it all the time. And everywhere that it touches the ground, it creates new roots. And the leaves have a really distinct flavor, but it's not a bad flavor. It's similar to fresh spinach, honestly.
We might have to do a breakout gotu kola episode at some point because I think it's one of the coolest herbs in our materia medica.
It's one of my absolute favorites. I remember the first time I heard KP talk about it and said it's the greatest tissue healer in the world. I'm sold because I need to heal my tissues.
Yep. And that's like one of a plethora of things it does, and it's a very cool herb. I want to tell listeners at this point, like maybe it might be a fun idea to grab like a pen and paper and write down some of these suggestions and like think about like what do you want to implement, because there's some really good ones, and I think that if you follow along and jot them down, you might be more likely to implement them.
Here we go.
Yeah.
That'll be in our show notes. So we were going off on a gotu kola tangent. So this is back to foods, summer foods. This is a great time to, like we said, green juice. This is a good time to eat raw foods. If you enjoy eating raw foods and salads in the summertime, your digestive fire is going to be hotter. You're going to be able to digest more. So this is, especially if you are a hot individual, then this is going to be a great time for you to do things like smoothies and salads. Just remember to like chew everything up really good because you have digestive enzymes in your saliva, and digestion begins with the eyes and the nose, but also really does a lot of work in the mouth while you're chewing, even your smoothies.
You have to chew your smoothie. You have to, what do they say? Drink your solids and chew your liquids. So even if you're just sucking down a smoothie, you should chew it still to get the digestive enzymes flowing. That's a very good point.
Drink your
You
solids.
like chew your solid foods to the point where they're liquid.
Okay.
Yeah? And then chew your liquids. So if you're drinking a smoothie, you still need to chew it to tell your body like, hey, it's time, we're going to start digesting something, get ready. Because if you just go in with this very nutrient dense smoothie that doesn't involve any chewing or pre-work for your body's gonna be like, this is a lot to digest. So
yeah, when you mix food with your saliva, then you digest it better.
absolutely. Yeah. So the theme I'm hearing, it's cooling and light, easy to digest foods like the green juices. Swap out your morning lemon water for lime. Lime is just slightly more cooling than lemon, and a nice change of pace, if you ask me, to switch it up. And coconut water. I've been like living off coconut water for the last couple weeks.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast. My husband has a pop-up restaurant, and I work for him 3 days a week, and we set up in a parking lot at 5:30 p.m. So in the summertime, it doesn't get dark until about 9, and we're setting up on concrete at like the hottest part of the day. And I drink a lot of coconut water in the summertime. It changes the way I feel. It works really well. So yeah, coconut water is a good. Milk is nice and cooling. If you're gonna cook with oil, ghee is a great thing to cook with this time of year.
It always blows my mind, but ghee is actually one of the most anti-inflammatory things that we have in the repertoire. Ghee is so anti-inflammatory. It is very cooling to put in your food this time of year, to rub on your body this time of year. Like ghee is such a gem for the summer months. Let me just reiterate that because I love ghee.
I enjoy the ghee, and I don't know, should I talk about the Mahatita Takta Gritum? It's like my new favorite thing.
Yeah, tell us about it.
So maha means great, and I think that anything that's tikta taktum is like super bitter. So the maha tikta taktum gritum is another word for ghee. It's like the king of all bitter ghee. So it has, I don't know how many different ingredients in it, but all of the ingredients are super bitter things. This is a medicinal ghee. There's a lot of medicinal ghees out there in the world that you can find even on Amazon. I think that you can get the maha tikta takta gritum on Amazon, and it's a bitter ghee. So ghee's already cooling, and then they add all of these bitter herbs, so it's super cooling. And like I have some inflammation on my ankle because I'm like just not smart. All disease is caused by a lack of awareness, right? So I wore my Hey Dudes to work one day last week with no socks, which I've done before and it's never been a problem, but it was so hot. I was sweating and sweating and sweating, and my shoes rubbed on my foot. So I've been putting the mahatitum on the little spot where it rubbed, where it's hot and inflamed, and it feels so good. It's I get immediate relief. And you can also cook with it. I can put it on topically, I can ingest it.
Tell us how tasty it is.
I haven't tasted it.
You're gonna have to report back because I'm curious.
I'll grab my Mahatita Takta Gritum and give it a taste.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm saying it wrong. It's Mahatik Gritum. I want it to be Tikta
Well,
Taka.
that's funner. But tell me how it smells, because I have like a shatavari ghee, and it's like, once you get the herbal infused ghees, they always smell a little, a little different.
Smells like kind of medicinal.
Okay.
Look, I mean, I can't read the ingredients on it because there's so many. Look, try to get this on there. That's a list of herbs that it's infused with.
They weren't kidding when they called it maha.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many that to put them on the jar, it's so small I can't possibly read it. Okay, I have some on my finger. Tastes like butter.
Interesting.
With like a little bitterness on the back end. But mostly, yeah, just tastes like butter.
So you could easily like saute some green veggies in it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt it at all. Oh, it's kind of like there's a bit of a spiciness. I don't know. You know how like arugula is bitter, but like has that spicy note to it?
Okay, I'm excited. It's been on my to buy list. I haven't gotten it yet. It's on my list for other reasons, but I'm excited to get it in my possession.
So yeah, that one's a fun one. Okay, so we're gonna do cooling drink ideas.
Yeah. So we're drinking our water with lime. We're drinking our coconut water. What else you got for us? Oh, you're drinking your green juice right now, so it's a great example.
This is my celery juice.
Oh, there's nothing better than juicing celery.
I love just like plain celery juice is so good. Aloe water.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah, like I like to fillet aloe. And then you gave me this idea, right? Because I have a lot of aloe plants and I'll get the big leaves. I will fillet them, wash them off, chop them into pieces, put them on parchment paper and put them in the refrigerator. And then I can pull them off the parchment paper and just stick them in a Ziploc bag. And I have little chips of fresh aloe that I can throw into the blender with water and make aloe water.
That sounds so tasty. I get so jealous of all your fresh aloe plants.
Really, you guys have things up there though that I can't grow here.
Oh, like our Oregon grape. Sorry.
No, like lemon balm. Lemon balm is one that it's too wet here and it gets moldy. I have watched more lemon balm die from the moisture here than any other plant. I gave up.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Speaking of lemon balm, some other things that you can do to augment and cool down your foods are add things like fresh sprouts, cilantro, mince. You're using lettuce. You're using just these nice cooling herbs. And then you're going to want to lighten up your grains. Like this isn't a time to do, shepherd's pie for dinner. That's a winter fall meal. We want to go light. So you can have light grains like basmati rice, or corn can be used in a light way, using lots of berries and lighter fruits. Like coconut is a great addition for this time of year.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hearing is like greens, coconuts, cucumbers, the mince, and I'm going to say amla or amlaki, which is one of the three fruits that's in trifala, which we talk about often, is a gentle Pitta specific balancing herb that you can add to your beverages, and it makes like a nice, we call it alma lemonade.
It's tangy, and so you can like add it to your, you know, your lemon. Like you can add it to a lemonade, and it's good. Or you can make lemonade with it, and you know, it's herbal lemonade, but it's refreshing.
It balances all those energies that could possibly overflow in the summertime. One of the things that I've been doing that's kind of strange, and like ice water is like a big no-no, right, in Ayurveda, but it depends on where you are and who you are. And I have a lot of fire within me. I have a lot of good digestive fire, and I'm outside in this 100-degree weather running around and doing like 20 flights of stairs in an evening. So I've been putting cumin powder in my ice water, and it's so good. It just hits really nice out there in the heat.
You think it'd be good with lime in it too, or do you think just like a straight cumin water?
I wonder if lime will be good with it. I've been doing just straight cumin, but I will do lime with the amlaki.
I'm gonna have to try the cumin thing. I'm so intrigued by the cumin ice water.
And we talked a lot about neem in the last episode. It's a good time to do a lot of to oil pool with neem. What about our daily rhythm?
Wait, before we get there, one, we can't forget mints, mint tea, mint in food. Mint is a great cooling beverage or addition this time of year. But I also want to touch on really quickly the things to avoid and some of the most heating foods out there that are going to aggravate our pitta the most, aside from the pungent things, the sour things that we talked about earlier, are red meat. Red meat is extremely heating. Alcohol, within alcohol, wine especially is heating. So all of those things are going to be warming to the body. They're going to fan the fire. So thinking about cutting back or avoiding would be ideal for this time of year. Or if you're going to do those things, try and augment them with extra cooling things. You know, you're going to eat a steak, slather in cilantro and some sort of cilantro sauce and eat it with a bunch of cooling green veggies. Like, do what you can to offset any heat that you're going to be participating in this time of year.
That's a really good idea and a good point to make. And when you mentioned the mint, you made me remember you talked about misting water on yourself and getting in front of the fan. Put some peppermint essential oil in that water.
That's a fun idea.
Oh, it's life changing.
Okay, I know what I'm doing after this.
Are we ready to talk about lifestyle
Yeah,
shifts?
let's do it.
All right, this time of year, you want to wake up early before the sun intensifies and avoid the strong sun. So if you have like hard work to do it before the heat of the day.
Yeah. And if you can, as you're waking up early when it's a little cooler out, like go touch grass, go touch wet, dewy grass. Like do things that are going to keep you cool and grounded. And that is one of them.
I also think that it's really important this year, and this isn't in our notes, but just living in a really hot place, that there are times where you get a bit of a cool breeze, and I try to get into that cool breeze and really take advantage of it. Bask in the breezes.
Just seek out coolness. That is the goal here.
If you're a cold plunger, this is the time of year to do your cold plunging. If you're a sauna person, this is the time of year to avoid the sauna.
I'm like so hot right now. We're sitting here recording this and you're talking about like cold plunging and it sounds so nice. The lakes are still cold here, but just going and like dipping in the lake, so good.
Well, and y'all, you can cold plunge at home. I will stop by the gas station near my house and buy 6 bags of ice. And if I put those in my bathtub, the water gets down to about 38 degrees and it's a cold plunge. And it's really nice after some hard work out in the summer evenings here.
I love that. Well, and just in general, like being in or around water is really cooling and really just it's calming. So it'll calm the heating emotions, but just cooling to the being. And then getting out in the moonlight as much as possible. Like go sleep on your deck in the moonlight. Go camping. Go be in moonlight. Moonlight is a very cooling energy. It's just calming. It's so good. Moonlight.
Moonlight. And let's see, what about sex in the moonlight?
Oh, that sounds fun. And go for it. But note that during summer, it is our time to dial back our indulgence in sex. Sex is a very heating activity. It takes a lot of energy expenditure. Lots of sex is for winter. It is time to go less sex. And if you're going to have sex, do it at the cooler times of the evening. Don't be doing it midday on your lunch break and in the heat of the heat moments.
So like before 10 p.m., after 2 a.m., not between 10 and 2. So after 2 a.m. in the moonlight. I'm kidding. I'm not recommending that anybody go outside and have sex
Why?
outdoors. Have sex in your house, guys.
Oh, do we have differences on opinion here? Okay, sorry.
No, go
Naked
ahead. Go
sex
ahead.
is like it's like top tier.
It's top tier.
Top tier.
I agree. I agree. Let me edit this one out for Roy.
Roy might just need to embrace that he has an adult's daughter.
Okay. Sorry, Roy. So if you do yoga, if you are strongly pitta, this time of year is a good time to avoid inversions, not a heavy inversion practice, more of a slower practice. This is a time to do yoga to work out in air conditioning. Do cooling pranayama. Do you know Sitali pranayama?
No.
This is a fun one. Not everyone can do it, but if you can curl your tongue up like this, if you can't curl your tongue up into like a little straw like this, then you can just make a little round spot with your mouth. And you can try it right now. Just inhale through your rounded lips. Do you feel the coolness coming into your throat? Exhale through your nose and inhale through those rounded lips, or you can inhale like you're sucking air through the straw, through your tongue. And it's very cooling and it will cool you off. It has a nice cooling energy. This is a big time summer hack in my world.
I love that. And it's cool because you can take it with you anywhere. You can do it anytime, any place. It's just a very easy thing to get in. As far as yoga in the summer goes, I will say for myself, I really had to just like surrender to it's really hot out and I'm really tired all the time because of the heat. And so like I will just go lay on my mat in Shavasana until I get enough energy to like go further. And then, it's some cat cows, it's child pose. It's like just really like listening to my body and letting my body guide where my practice goes instead of me having this idea that I'm going to go do this intense yoga practice and it's going to go this certain way, or I'm going to hit the gym, or I'm going to go, take my rucksack out and do a mile. Like it is so time to tune in and listen to your body and what your body wants and is capable this time of year. And it's okay just to like see how you feel and let that guide your practices.
This is a great time to just like go for a walk or have, a cat cow child pose practice with maybe no sun salutations or chaturangas. You don't ever have to do another chaturanga ever again if you don't want to.
I love that.
Someone gave me permission to never do another chaturanga once, and I needed that.
Dude, I think I need that too. Like, I feel like I just got permission from you. And sometimes I think I try to force myself to do the yoga I think I should be doing, not the yoga my body wants or I want to be doing.
Yeah. Or needs. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so the other trick here is everything we're doing is aimed at staying cool. And so surrounding ourselves with cooling things, with water, with cooling colors, with cooling gemstones, with cooling scents is really helpful, but something really important is to keep your energy calm and really pay attention to what you're engaging in and what it does to your emotions. And if you're engaging in things that are making your emotions fiery, if you're getting into heated topics, if you're getting worked up over watching the news, then you're probably doing the wrong things for summer because we want to stay cool and grounded. So think about that as you pick what music you're listening to, or what movies you're watching, or what shows, or what people you're hanging out with, or what places you're going. Like, this is holistic, and we need to keep this lens through all areas of our life. So, where can you add some calm, coolness in your life?
Maybe this is a great time to do a social media fast.
Dude, I deleted Instagram off my phone, and it's like the greatest thing ever. Yes.
I know. Yeah. And that's my big suggestion is do a social media fast and take the time that you spend on social media, whenever it is you get on social media. Maybe some people do it around breakfast time. Some people check out social media before bed, and instead engage in something that's really positive and uplifting and calming. Read a spiritual book that you enjoy. Make a gratitude list. Do that instead of getting on the social media or reading the news, and help to balance those energies in the body.
I love it. That's a great idea.
I don't know if we want to go there, but I just thought of it. How hot is it in LA right now?
It's probably really freaking hot. LA is a concrete jungle. It is. It gets
They're having these protests in LA, and there's a lot of chaos going on and a lot of heated emotions.
Well, that's interesting now that I think about it, like just over the last couple years, and a lot of the social unrest does seem to happen in the summertime. I hadn't made that connection before. We know crime rises in the summer, but like again, anything that's in the heated emotions like gets elevated and aggravated in the summer months. So that's a very interesting connection, and I'm always in awe of how it's all connected.
It's all connected. It really is. So we talk a lot about Abhyanga, and Abhyanga changes with the season. So this is something that we do in the shower. I like cool showers this time of year, and I like to use cool oils. So the go-tos would be amla oil, coconut oil, and ghee. And then you can always use sesame oil any time of the year. But I will just do a caveat that if you're using coconut oil in your shower, get the fractionated coconut oil that is liquid at room temperature. Non-fractionated coconut oil is solid above 76 degrees. So if you live in a climate where it ever gets above 76 degrees, you do not want that in your plumbing.
Whoops. I'll tell you, I use sesame oil like religiously for my Abhyanga, and it's to the point where it's like just slightly too warming. Like I can tell it is just on the edge of like warming, and so I will probably switch to some coconut oil, maybe with a little neem in it or something, and give that a go because I am just getting overheated. So
Yeah, neem is nice and cooling. The essential oils this time of year is like, so I'll just name off some cooling essential oils or like rose and neroli if you're feeling fancy. If you want to go more economical, things like geranium, lavender, sandalwood's probably like right in the mid range. And these are cooling things. So that's what I'm using right now is I'm using amla with neroli and sandalwood. So it's like nice and light and cooling. And I get to take those fragrances with me and I smell like these cooling oils. So I almost feel like I bring that energy with me when I go out into the world and I carry it with me everywhere I go. And it's just, I don't know, it's really nice. So cooling oils.
that sounds lovely. One of the things I've been doing is when I'm winding down for the day, I'll go get it's not Ayurvedic, but I'll go get a cold towel and like wipe my feet down. And when I'm with my
Mm.
partner, we do it for each other. He wipes my feet, I wipe his feet, and it's like a really cooling, calming exercise for the night. And then you could do that. And I haven't thought about this yet till just now, but then add coconut oil to the bottom of your feet and make it an extra cooling experience, or bring in some of the cooling essential oils because we do a lot of heat regulation to our feet. So keeping that area cool is going to keep the rest of us cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like lavender coconut oil on your feet with maybe some peppermint essential oil.
That's nice. And we're gonna get the peppermint spray mister and
We're just gonna stay like so cool this summer. So if you really want to geek out, we talked about tongue scraping. We got like deep into tongue scraping in our spring episode. You can geek out and get a silver tongue scraper for pitta regulation.
well, and on that note, just anything silver is going to be cooling. Silver jewelry, silver color, silver cookware, like just the silver is calming and cooling to the pitta. So you can do your tongue scraper, but this is a good time to bust out your silver jewelry as well. And the goal again is not just that any one of these things is going to have a huge impact. It's doing a bunch of little things all moving in the same direction, and that's what's going to, tip the scales and give us what we want. It's not about doing one big major thing. It's a bunch of little things that add up.
Yeah, it's holistic. I mean, dude, cooling colors, right? Your blues and your greens. I have blue scarves, blue headbands, blue shawls that I like to wear in the summertime to just like bring that cooling energy in. This is, ooh, we were talking about before bed, right? Sorry, I'm jumping around, but before bed, during rubbing the soles of the feet. And if you breathe through your left nostril is lunar and cooling. So if you lay on your right side, it makes it easier to breathe through your left. You can fall asleep on that side or any time during the day, especially if when you're feeling those hot emotions, the judgment, the anger, the irritability, the impatience, you can block off your right nostril and breathe just through your left. for a period of time, or you could count like 27 inhales is a good place to go. It just takes a couple of minutes, and feel the way you feel afterwards. It'll definitely cool you down.
I love that. I'm a big fan of just like little things that you can easily deploy
Yeah.
throughout the day. Yes.
I love the cooling pranayams because you can take them with you anywhere. It's not like I could be sitting in a hot waiting room with annoying people and rude receptionist and they're running late. I'm just like building a scenario that we've all experienced and go, oh, well, I wish I had my lavender essential oil, but I left it at home. I can always employ my breathing exercises no matter where I am. I don't have to remember to bring anything with me. I just have to remember that they're always available to me and I can do them anytime.
I love it. Now, I know we kind of touched lightly on it earlier in the episode, but just some of the more mindfulness things we can do and some of the things that we can really employ to keep the emotional side of things in check. Because again, I can't even stress like what a big piece of the puzzle it is. Like when our emotions are hot and fiery, it's going to make everything else hot and fire in us. And that's when we're going to start getting those summer ailments that we don't want, right? Like acidity in our chest or loose stools or just heat in our bodies, fevers, things that we don't want to deal with because our goal here is to feel good.
Or how about herpes?
Yeah. Oh, this is like prime time for herpes outbreak. Like it's hot,
Uh-huh.
it's wet. Herpes thrives in this environment.
It thrives in the environment. And to any listeners that have ever experienced a herpes outbreak, if you pay attention, I'd be willing to bet that you will notice the more calm you are, the less outbreaks you have. And when you get angry or irritable, you are more prone to waking up that virus.
Yeah, in addition to just herpes, any inflammatory skin condition is primed in this time of year. Like we're talking eczema and rashes and acne and just all the hot things that manifest on our skin. This is prime time.
Absolutely.
So two things that you can do is to start practicing some discernment. So all the things we're talking about, really paying attention to what you're choosing, right? Like when you're out with people, like are you going to choose to order something spicy or something cooling? When you're picking what you're going to listen to or engage in, like use discernment. It will serve you well here. As Alicia touched on earlier, it comes from a lack of awareness. And that means sometimes well, does that sound like we're blaming people?
Well, I don't know. I think that people can perceive things however they choose to. And at the end of the day, disease does come from a lack of awareness. Whether you have high blood sugar because you ate sugary things and weren't aware of how those sugary things made you feel. It's not your fault you have diabetes, but there was some lack of awareness at some point that led you to this place. I think, like for myself, right, with autoimmune issues, this comes from many years of drug and alcohol abuse, prescription medicine and alcohol abuse. I was not paying attention to how those things were affecting my body. I didn't notice how bad my abuse of hydrocodone was until I was starting to lose my hearing. And when I noticed that I couldn't watch television without the captions on or I couldn't understand them, I became aware of that. But there were other things going on in my body long before then that I was not aware of. So I have noticed in the wintertime, for example, I know this is a summer episode, but we'll do a winter episode. And I have noticed that if I go out in cold wind, I feel like I'm getting a cold the next day. I have practiced awareness, and the awareness grows through meditation. And I notice that. And so I really do my best when it's cold and windy outside to always cover my neck. If I wear a scarf, something to keep my neck warm, then I don't have that problem. Now, I'm not causing myself to get a cold if I forget to do that. But if I practice awareness, then I can prevent it.
That's a great example of using discernment. And I think it's just important to reiterate like what an influence that we have on our health and our health outcomes. I don't think that we necessarily talk about that as much as we should, but we influence our health and our health outcomes. And when we use discernment, we can make better decisions for our body, our mind, our spirit, and those things all moving in the right direction allow us to feel good.
Yeah. discernment and non-attachment. Just try to think of an example, like, because we get stuck in our routines. We have our routines that we like and we want to do them all year long. And I think that the trick to living with the seasons is getting the routine that I like with the season. So, for example, some people like to eat hot sauce with every meal or eat jalapenos with every meal. Well, this would be a time of year where maybe you don't want to eat those jalapenos with every meal. Maybe you eat jicama with every meal instead in the summertime and start to reincorporate the jalapenos in a cooler season. We have these attachments to the things that we do. Like I take hot showers. It took me a long time to embrace the cool shower in the summertime because I'm American. I grew up, you take hot showers, you take hot baths. But man, a cool bath or a cool shower, practicing that discernment and that awareness of, oh, when it's hot outside, a cool shower actually makes me feel good.
Well, and it's funny listening to you talk about that because it's not about depriving yourself. It's not about doing things you want to do but you're not allowed to do. Like when you really start tuning in and getting aware, you start to realize and make the connection that when you eat that hot and spicy food in the summer, you get heartburn. And you don't like having heartburn because heartburn doesn't feel good. And when you can connect where that is coming from, it makes it so much easier to pass on the jalapenos, to pass on the hot sauce, and then bring it back in when your body wants and accepts and tolerates it. So as again, just getting in tune and aware makes such a big difference, and it like really shifts you from the mindset of things are getting taken away from me. I can't do this. I don't get to do this deprivation mode to this empowering, I'm doing this or I'm choosing this because it feels good. And I love the idea of not being attached to the routines because when we're attached and when we get in this pattern of just habitual doing and thinking, we're not tuned in and we're not aware to the moment and what our body is telling us and the feedback we are getting. And so just part of becoming non-attached is just tuning in and listening to what's going on in the moment and actioning from there. Because when we do that, we usually choose better paths than when we just keep doing what we've always done. I think of my partner who keeps drinking coffee in these hot summer months, ultra pitta, and like then he's like complaining about his heartburn or he's eating spicy things. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like you're fanning the fire and then complaining about all the outcomes.
Well, everybody just is where they are.
Absolutely.
We can use our awareness to reduce cravings and use our awareness to stay in balance and to move closer to the zone of dynamic balance. But if we all just do it at our own pace, and there's no judgment in where people are. My super pitta husband, who also drinks coffee like all day long, and all year long. And I've been monitoring my glucose. So I'm hyper aware of what sugar does to me and how I'm affected by food. And I don't eat much added sugar at all. It's a very rare thing. But my husband has a major sweet tooth. And this is something we've discussed. We've been together for 12 years, and I've brought up the sweet tooth and I've brought up all of the sugary sweets in the house many times over the years. And today, without me saying anything, he went into the pantry and he pulled every sugary snack. The cookies, they're like the Fieti brand gluten-free cookies, but they still have sugar in them. He pulled out the cookies and the Heavenly Hunks and the Unreal Snicker bars and put them all on the table. And he said, I'm getting rid of this. I'm worried about my blood sugar. I don't want to eat all of this sugar anymore. Tonight, I'm going to play a pool tournament. I'm going to leave them at the pool hall. I'm donating them.
Damn, I really want some Siete cookies right now. That's amazing though. Like how cool. That's really cool to hear.
That's the point. I can't tell him how it makes him feel. He practices mindfulness. He's at his own level of awareness, and he has become aware that he does not like the way these things make him feel, and he doesn't want to eat them as much as he has before. And so he's getting rid of them. And it's a lifetime journey, right? And so we just take one step and then another. I just want to be really clear. Like, I don't do this stuff perfectly. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago and I was drinking a Dr. Pepper. I drink like 2 real sugar Dr. Peppers a year, and Lila was shocked.
I was. Sorry. But hey, I've been living on cold brew and coconut water together for the last 3 weeks. Like I think I tell myself if I put some coconut water in my cold brew, I'm not gonna have the negative effects from the cold brew. Because that's my summer thing,
I
like
can't.
iced coffee. So I'm like
Oh
either.
yeah. I'm sorry. That's gonna be all garbled because we were both talking at the same time, but I'm like cold brew. Like I love a nitro cold brew, but I can't even I've been off the coffee since was it January? I haven't had
You've been
coffee
off it for a minute.
for a minute. Well, and to be fair, I have like a cup of coffee once a month. And it like cracks me out. And that's why I only do it once a month. And it makes me feel a little bit crazy. And I don't want to do that all the time.
You're smarter than me some days.
Well, when I did it all the time, I did the cold brew. I don't think I could handle a cold brew.
Oh, so good. So good. But I just want to touch on how cool it is that, like, again, it's not about forcing yourself to make change. It's not about like using willpower to get rid of all the sugar in your cupboards. It's once you start getting aware and you start making the connections of how the things make you feel, you will naturally want to go in a new direction. And you will test it. We will fall off sometimes. I will keep drinking coffee occasionally and remember why I stopped drinking coffee, but that's part of the journey. And it's really like, it's never about just like willpowering or muscling your way through. Cause, like, again, I am such a big believer that once you tune in and get aware and you realize how the things make you feel, you will naturally go in that direction. It might take more time, but it will happen.
Yeah, dude. It's just like we're just all on that path, moving at our own perfectly imperfect pace.
I love that.
I have one last life hack that I would like to share on the topic of hot emotions, anger. This is a little trick that I learned a long time ago. If you feel overwhelmed, if you get to that place where you feel like you are ready to like scream, throw something, you're angry, you're irritated, get a big glass of water, like 16-ounce glass of water. Drink the glass of water and then take your right hand, put it under your left armpit. You take your left hand, you put it under your right armpit and squeeze yourself and just sit there and breathe while you squeeze yourself after drinking all that water. And after a minute, you're going to feel better.
I'm excited to try that.
This week's episode of the weird things Alicia does to feel better. It works though.
I can't wait to try that. But I'll tell you, last night when I was having my hot emotions and I was tipped over and the heat got the best of me and I was laying under the moonlight, you know, I did the Alicia moving mudra where you interlock your hands and you shake because like it shakes you out of your bad mood and it works. And I used it under the moonlight thinking of you.
I love that. I love that. And I'll just have to say, like, shout out to Gujaratma Khalsa, my yoga teacher from years ago, one of the women who changed my life, who had so many tricks up her sleeve and shared them with everybody constantly. And I mean, she was just this wealth of resources, and all of these cool, weird things I do, they all come from her. All of them.
Well, I think you're doing a service by sharing these things with the people and keeping the information and the knowledge and the lineage alive. That's cool. That's a cool thing to do as our topic is staying cool.
Yeah.
All right, that was Berkey.
I know you made a dad joke. Shout out to Roy with the dad joke. All right, guys. I think we did good. I think we've given people some good information.
Yeah.
Y'all stay cool.
Stay cool and tell us what you use and how it worked. We would love to hear from you. We got such good feedback on our spring episode and everybody doing the things. And I think so many people in the world are doing Abhyanga now because of us.
And I just love that, like, because yes, these things have changed my life and I feel better and I do better and I am better because of it. So I love to hear about other people incorporating these things. Thank you guys for listening and for having an open mind and being adventurous enough to try some of these things out with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And I appreciate you, Alicia. Thank you for all your wisdom.
Oh, I love you, Lila. This is so much fun.
All right, I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye. If you're interested in Alicia and Lila's offerings, coaching programs, or other exciting events, please check out our websites, thelivingwellnesslounge.com and holisticallycorrect.com.